A Hollywood icon and his wife are found brutally murdered inside their own home. Their son is arrested just hours later, and before the nation can even process the tragedy, President Trump turns it into a political attack, triggering backlash from both sides of the aisle. This is the shocking story behind the deaths of Rob Reiner and his wife. What began as a devastating family tragedy in Los Angeles has now become one of the most controversial stories in America, blending Hollywood, addiction, crime, and politics. Tonight we take a closer look at what we know about the murders of Rob and Michele Reiner, the arrest of their son, Nick Reiner, and why President Trump's reaction ignited outrage even among his own allies. On Sunday afternoon, Los Angeles police responded to a call at a quiet Brentwood home, the residence of legendary filmmaker Rob Reiner and his wife Michele Singer Reiner. Inside, first responders found the couple suffering from multiple stab wounds. Both were pronounced dead at the scene. The shocking discovery sent immediate waves through Hollywood. Rob Reiner wasn't just a director, he was a cultural figure, responsible for films that defined generations. At first, police released very little information. No suspect, no motive, just a stunned city trying to make sense of a brutal crime. As investigators worked the case, attention quickly turned to the Reiners family, particularly their son, Nick Reiner. Nick, now 32 years old, has spent much of his life publicly battling addiction. He has spoken openly about multiple stints in rehab, periods of homelessness, and volatile arguments with his parents during the darkest moments of his struggles. In past interviews, Nick described entering rehab as young as 15 and learning how to work the system just long enough to be released, only to relapse again. Despite the pain, Rob and Michele stood by their son. In 2015, they even collaborated on a deeply personal film, Being Charlie, inspired by Nick's experiences with addiction. What Rob Reiner later described the project as the most emotionally difficult work of his career. One detail has particularly shaken investigators and the public alike. The night before the murders, Rob, Michele, and Nick attended a party at comedian Conan O'Brien's home. Multiple sources say Nick and his father were seen arguing. Others reported Nick was acting erratically. Police have not said whether that argument is directly linked to the killings, but just hours later, Rob and Michele were dead. On Sunday night, Nick Reiner was arrested near a Los Angeles metro station with assistance from a U.S. Marshals task force. He is currently being held without bail. Formal charges are still pending. As Americans mourned the shocking loss, the story took a sudden and controversial turn. President Donald Trump posted on Truth Social, blaming Rob Reiner's death on what he called Trump Derangement Syndrome, implying the filmmaker's criticism of Trump may have contributed to his killing. When asked later if he stood by the post, Trump doubled down, calling Reiner deranged and bad for the country. The comments immediately sparked outrage, not just from Democrats, but from prominent Republicans and MAGA-aligned figures. Former Trump lawyer Jenna Ellis called the remarks horrible and indecent. Republican lawmakers including Thomas Massie, Mike Lawler, and even Marjorie Taylor Greene said the comments were inappropriate and disrespectful. Critics pointed out the irony that Trump's comments came just weeks after bipartisan calls for civility following other political assassinations. Law enforcement has been clear. There is no evidence the Reiners' political beliefs played any role in their deaths, yet the tragedy has reignited a larger national debate about political rhetoric, empathy, and the consequences of turning personal loss into partisan conflict. For some, Trump's comments crossed a line. For others, they reflected a broader breakdown in how America processes tragedy in the age of social media. As investigators prepare to present the case to prosecutors, one thing remains painfully clear. This is, at its core, a family destroyed. We'll continue following this case closely and bring you updates as more information becomes available.